Welcome back to another video blog from Psychedelic Art Exchange. We've got some cool stuff to show you today from our newest auction, which is a new thing for us. No posters this time. We're talking about t-shirts and vintage concert apparel. And we've got a whole selection of really interesting stuff to go over. So why don't you take it away and talk a little bit about what we're doing here?
Well, this is a fun departure from the usual poster talk.
Mm,
The t-shirts, concert t-shirts dovetail very nicely with concert posters. It's the same souvenir. It's the same, you know, recollection of something from the past that's meaningful. I know about this intimately because I've been a collector of all things music and rock and roll since as long as I can remember. And
mhm.
having seen live music since 1977, I've accumulated quite a few t-shirts over the years, as you're probably familiar. You
Oh
saw,
yeah.
the storage units and all of the madness. It really, it is an obsessive collector's kind of thing. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
point where I was a great source of amusement to, my peers, because I was, so caught in, getting swag. But so anyway, so this is the culmination. The sale is the sort of the first wave of me releasing my shirts, as well as some consigners have sent me stuff, and it
Mhm.
really is a fun emerging new collectible. This is
Sure.
and I believe that this vintage swag t-shirt thing, it really does have legs, because it can cross over into the apparel market itself. Vintage clothing is a huge market.
Yeah.
There's and rock and roll collectibles we know about well. So anyhow, just to start off, I'm just pulling out some selections from the
Mhm.
auction that I find are particularly interesting. I will start with some of the non-Grateful Dead material, just because
Ah,
it's way more unusual.
the best for last.
There's a lot of Dead shirts, and
Sure.
some of them are very cool and very valuable, and we'll see how it
Mhm.
does in sale. But the really, I know it's far down on the list, but I think that the real one of the real sleepers is this
Oh yeah.
Tupac hat. It's
Yeah.
a brand new promo hat from Death Row Records.
It's
I mean,
amazing.
anybody that understands will get this. Me, I've been holding this piece for like 20 years. It came with an old lot of memorabilia that I bought ages ago, and
Mhm.
it's just time to sell. It's time to lighten the load. But the Tupac Baltimore connection, that's
Yeah.
that's why we got to start here. This
Very
is
cool.
real, people. This is real authentic promo
Very cool.
swag from like the early 90s. So I'm really
Yeah.
curious to see how this thing does.
Yeah, yeah,
After that, let's go back to, oh God. I mean, this is, when I was in high school, this record was
yeah.
one
Oh
of the
yeah.
one of the most popular things out there. And I was not really into the popular music at the time. I was always on a different path, and I never really got into this record until like 30 years later. But this
It
is the
holds
real
up.
deal. Warner Brothers promo, what, 77, 78, unworn. I mean, it's
77,
time.
yeah.
I got it from a lady that worked in the record business years ago. That's where all this small stuff comes from. I'm burning off
Hmm.
all of this material that I got from an old record industry person. So
Yeah.
this is one of them. And then this is probably, I'm more curious about this piece than anything else, because I again, like with the Tupac hat, this is probably one of the scarcest, rarest, coolest items that you'll ever see. An unworn
Yeah.
Dead Boys t-shirt promo from, I mean, this was one of the essential American, first wave punk bands. They really mattered. Stiff Vaders. I mean, the Clash, the Ramones, the Dead Boys, X, that's
I
the
mean, that's the
pennies.
shirt I would buy. So,
Oh, this is
yeah.
banging. I think this is going to pop if this stuff gets outside of our list of hippie poster collectors. This is I've been trying to break out the whole flyer thing and the punk thing because I think it's really essential and caught up
Yeah,
to it. I mean, I love the psychedelic hippie Grateful Dead stuff. It's where I set up my tent years ago, but this is banging. Anyhow,
that's one of the
yeah, keep
coolest
an eye
things.
on this one.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
All right, what else do we have here from I guess now we get into the world of the Grateful Dead, and where
Some familiar territory.
I spent many hours, doing this thing. and
Right.
and and I really began when there wasn't this whole ridiculous shakedown lot scene. It was to find a good
Mhm.
shirt on lot was an exercise because people were making these screen prints and paying their way to the next show, and there was some really great art. So it's folk art.
Right. So we're talking unofficial
Well, I mean,
lot
I'm talking the
shirts,
whole
not
story. That's where I started.
right.
But let's start with official because this is a consigned piece from somebody that was at the closing of Winterland. I mean,
Amazing.
this Breakfast at Dawn, people. I mean, the poster in mint condition sells for over 5K now. It was something that was common. And it's also,
Yeah.
the poster's been commonly bootlegged. I can guarantee you this is original. And, find another one. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little beat. It's got holes. But it's intact. I don't grade t-shirts, thank God, but it's got elasticity. It's the material has held up.
Yeah.
Sometimes cotton's very fragile. It dry rots. It's a mess. But this is like very cool. I don't think it's the 17,000 that Sotheby's got for that 60s dead piece, but I'm really curious to see what goes on with that. All right, so here's one, and I'm starting to gingerly burn off, like I say, my own stuff. And here's one of them. 20 years so far.
Uh-huh.
It's a Rick Griffin design.
Yeah.
The master, and this was purchased at a show. This was God, probably, they played Merriweather on that tour, and they did That's It for the other one. It was a big deal, back in the day. It was a fun time. So 20 years so far from the Troche collection. Also from my collection, a shirt that I bought from Mouse at a Shoreline show, whatever, however,
Oh, wow.
in the 80s. It's signed. It's a little bit faded, the signatures, but this is, I don't know. It's a very, very cool Mouse design. And
Right. And right, the last few shirts we've looked at are cool because it's kind of where posters and t-shirts meet.
well, yeah, and that's really where we're at, because collectibles, culture, art, and music. This is where we're laying down our foundation, and wherever all of this crosses over is terribly fascinating. And it's still an emerging collectible. It's not at the point of Beatles and Hendrix posters, but the Grateful Dead and all that is an essential story in rock and roll history. And love them or hate them, they changed rock and roll music and production, and in this kind of stuff. Here's an unworn shirt from God. What is it? I mean, this is a beautiful piece. What year was
That's
this? I mean,
beautiful.
unworn. This was in my
Oh my
whatever, and one of those bins, because it was too nice of a design and a dye. I noticed the minute you wash it, all of that beauty fades out.
God.
And
So don't wash it.
I mean, I couldn't, but I've got I got a problem, that. What else is here? Let's is there more? Those were the official. So yeah, let's show some of the folk art, the lot stuff. All right. So
Right.
the big thing was doing parodies on products and popular culture thing before the whole, microbrew revolution that we're experiencing now, where you can't get anything but like a 7% IPA. This was one of the original microbrews. It was called Red Tail Ale, and it was a California brewery, and it was great. This was, again, there weren't shirts everywhere. There weren't microbrews. There weren't 5 shows a week to see. There was the Grateful Dead,
Yeah.
and where I hitched my wagon. So this is one of those products. If anyone can relate to it, they'll get it. If
Nice.
not, then you just have to take my word for it. Oh God, another. I attended 10 Grateful Dead New Year's runs, and it was a joy. It's where I discovered, the beauty of the California Deadhead scene. Here's a remnant from one of those New Year's. You can check. We'll do a follow up and let you know what lots these are. But I'm just sort of showing a hodgepodge of interesting stuff. But this is. Oh man, I mean, so it's a while ago now. Yeah. Anyhow, saw Jerry do this run on Broadway of acoustic and electric shows. Bill Graham produced it in a Broadway theater. This is like a unworn or practically unworn sweatshirt that I bought back then. It's the goofy cartoon design, but lovely.
I like it. I think that's cool.
Oh my, what else do we have here? Is that, it's such a, I can go on and on,
Yeah.
but and if this takes off, we'll get into more of this. If people want to send us consignments, if they want to clear out their drawers, turn it into money, I think we may have something. We'll see. And I still got, believe me, so much more of my stuff that I'll show you a couple examples of things that'll be like the last that I sell. But let me just dig into here. This is one of my favorite shirts from my youth. It's one of those Mouse Kelly monster shirts. I've always loved their Flying Eyeball. This shirt was, from the 70s. This is, and this will be one of the last. This was one of my favorites. The Warlock shows that I didn't see in '89, but they had this shirt. They played under the name Warlocks at Hampton in '89 when they broke out all that ridiculous stuff. Death Don't Have No Mercy, Dark Star, Addicts, whatever. And this shirt is gorgeous. Again, I've never worn it because I knew the colors would go to hell right away. So sometime in the future I'll offer that. And then on the ridiculousness, this thing, this tops it. This is, a take on Ren and Stimpy.
From funny. I like that.
An irreverent cartoon, and yeah. From the ridiculous to the more ridiculous, but it's refreshing. We love the posters. We're still trying to elevate the appreciation, value, understanding of rock posters, but this is our summer vacation.
And we'd love to hear what you all think too. Do you like the shirts? Would you wear them? Will you buy them? What do you think? Tell us, leave a comment, send us an email, give us a call. And bid in the auction. It's open until Monday, July 31st at 9:00 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you next time.